All right, recording. Okay, get used to just doing with shoulders drops. This way, real loose, and then try to get that same feeling with the hands up. That same looseness in the shoulders if you're doing this. You're still doing this. Now we'll go. We'll do our pivots and just pick. Just get your regular strong side to southpaw. Get on the back leg and just kind of have it on the same point. I mean, it's obviously going to move, with you. But just do the. We'll start with just this real simple. It's like 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, like that, and then we'll add to it as we go. So time. So just real simple pivots, 4 directions. We'll go 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3, 12. Remember, make sure you keep your weight back here, and then we'll go the other way. So what is this? 9. 6. 6. So then we'll add turn to it. So now we're gonna go here and add a turn. Here. You can unwind. Please step. So don't do it in one motion yet. Like don't do these ones yet. Go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wind up. 1, 2. And then after that, now go ahead and put it together. Same thing, you just don't really stop. And the whole thing is having a lot of torque here from the waist and then the legs. Now we're gonna go the other direction here. So you're gonna go this way, but we're gonna go step, turn, fall on the back leg. Step, turn, step, wind up. Doing 2 motions. So 1, 2, 1, 2, unwind. 1, 2, unwind. So 2 is wind up, step, wind up, unwind. Step. Now same thing, just put it together. So you go step, unwind. So as soon as you land, you keep going. Real important to sit back and keep a lot of gravity in the back leg. Don't come up here. So it's just you wind up, then you go to about 50-50. Yeah. So you don't have to come out too much here. You just wind up. Timer is up. All right, cool. That's good. And let's do now. We're gonna do the other leg, but we're not doing it on the other side, the stance, we're just doing the front leg, right? So you're doing this. As opposed to doing it, same thing we're just doing here. We're not doing that. On the other side, no, we're doing this. Where it's like you're on your front leg. All right, so still on your strong side, South. All right, so we'll basically the same thing. So we go ahead and start. And you're just gonna go, like for 12 o'clock, we'll go, what is this? 9 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock, we'll do it again. Staying on the front leg, right? 6 o'clock, 3, and 12, and then we go back the other way. Make sure to stay pigeon toed. 9 o'clock. 12. 3 o'clock. 12. Now we're gonna go. We can go back the other way, but we're gonna go step. Turn. Boom. Yeah. You make it 2 motions, so step. Boom. And now the other way. So now we're gonna go step. Now in this case, you're on the front leg. Now you're going back to 50-50. Kind of the opposite of what the other, what we were doing before was back here and then 50. Here you're on the front, you're back to 50. Forward. I go and put it together. Here's the one move. And then the other direction. So now you're doing this one. You're going, oh, wait a minute. That was, yes, we were just doing this, right? Now you're doing, staying the front leg. Well, front leg, let's go back to the middle one. Go back a little bit. Make sure at the end, still put this part at the very end. There you go. There we go. So the next one was I think I'll put this together, but it's just a mix of those 2 moves. And you're now that I think about it, this is kind of a hard move to do with. This is a good move to do when you're slipping punches or something, but I'm not sure when shadow boxing how it works. So it's just doing this really like coming off the back leg. Back leg. Right. So it's you can put on my feet. See if that helps. A lot of room there is, but just not going that direction. So we're basically doing this here. So this foot's slightly in all the time. Slightly in here. And you're going here. Sorry. So you're going here, here, here. getting your hips out the way, right? By stepping this way. Just hip out the way. But you don't have to do it with that turn every time. It can be done real simple like this. You don't have to go. You don't have to do this every time. You can just do it as a step, like if you're walking, but with that kind of angle. You just remember that when you're, it's the same circles, look. Circles, circles, circles. Or it can be done with just a real short step where you just kind of walk. And then circle when you want. If that makes any sense. So you're going here, yeah. Almost like you had a bowl in front of you, but the bowl is doing this, right? So you're going like this. You're zigzagging. You're going like you have the red cape. They're about to get you. You get the hip out the way. Now they're going to go through this way. So you get the hip out the way. Kind of doing that, right?
But you're not actually switching your stance when you did it, right?
No, but no.
Okay.
But you're only because you're moving in relation to a person that's here and you're circling around them, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it looks like you are, because it looks like you're going turning your back on them sometimes, but you're not, because you don't do it with the opponent's
Right,
there.
right.
The opponent's there. You still have your turn on.
Got it. Makes sense.
So what you're gonna do is just try to. I'll start the time. Just gonna walk in the circle, walk a circle, doing that same idea. And at first, we're just gonna work like think of slipping. So there's someone there, slipping, just like you would slip this way. Because you know this move we do on mitts, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, you learn slipping this way, but then when you hit the step, you can just do your slipping this way. Yeah. Right. So it's a lot simpler. So anyway, so time started. We'll just put it from here. Think of slipping. Step, slip, slip. And you want to slip where you're just barely slipping. Give them a layer of your skin. They almost get you. And the reason being is they almost get you. You can go here. Look, and then this is a trap now. Just coming back is kind of a trap. They're going to get trapped there. Off balance. That's the idea. Kind of slow. And push into the ground here. Push into the ground here. Push into the ground. Push into the ground. Push into the ground. It's the same idea as if you're doing this. Look, just rocking back and forth. I go to water. The water goes shh. Shh. So you want to kind of do that. Boom. It can be done with subtle angles like this. You can always put a bigger angle in and go this way. That's an easy way to think about it. You're just doing this, but you're just doing this to an opponent, and you can slip or whatever, right? But you're just doing that, but you're going around them. But it's the same thing. It's another way to think about it. You just put the opponent's here, right? And let's go the other direction. Step, turn, step, turn, step. And try to feel your legs pushing back and forth. So you do a lot right here. The other thing is when you do this, every time you do this, check it out. You always have this idea like you do this, you can always slam the door behind them, right? Like there's a hinge here, right here. So you go, you slam the door, you go here, now the hinge is here. Slam the door here. Right? So if you're doing this, every time you move the hip back, it's a trap because you can slam the door behind it on the other side, right? Even just doing this, right? Slam the door, hinge, slam the door, shift the weight, that makes the hinge here, slam the door. Shift the weight, which puts the hinge here, slam the door. So this is the same thing. You don't have to slam the door every time. You could just do this, right? And then just add that whenever you want. So you could just go slip, 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 or you can go slip, bam, slip. It all depends. So let's do that same thing, except
Can I do another round of it? I didn't get to do it very much.
okay, yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, we'll do this. We'll do the same thing.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Remember, we can always just step, and you can always kind of steer with the waist. The waist like a steering wheel, right? You always just step with no real turn too. If you want, sometimes just step with no real turn. Back this way. And just think of do the same moves, don't change it, but just think of this. They come in and you can kind of just get behind their elbows just a little bit. Just gently behind their elbows. You don't really have to push them. You're just enough so if they try to come back, they can't. So see that? So you just kind of, you don't have to move your arms, see? Just use your waist to do that. There you go. You don't have to do it every time either. You can just step, get behind them. Just make sure to put a little bit of energy right here in the middle of the shoulder blades, just a little. And just get that delay there. See, as we're doing this, you don't have to add anything to punch, except for just grabbing the hand, because it's the same move. See, I'm not doing this. I'm just same thing, same as this. You just. See how it creates these angles though? Like this? Same move. Boom. Or on the same side, the same step as this. Right? Same thing. Which is really just, it's the same thing. It's doing the punch. Same move. You don't have to try any. You just keep going. Where you would go here, you just go here. Same thing. Where you would go here, or here. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, just go. Let's see. All right, cool. So let's do that and start adding the punches. Just kind of get out your way for the punch. So you're going here, just think of slipping. Think you feel their arms slip, bam, bam, bam. You just continue the same steps, just kind of do whatever you want, right? Slip, back, slip, back, switch directions. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, just play with that step. No, just real slow one too. The other thing is just that all this part, you just want to sit down real comfortable as you're doing this. And it makes you put all the stress a little bit more on the legs and just the waist, but everything else is able to just relax. You just kind of sit down a little. A good way to do it is just elbows too. If you have an elbow, you have the perfect form of the punch already. You just need to
You want me
hold
to
it.
do elbows?
Yeah, it's actually the best way to practice first. Just remember the elbow's never this. It bends just a little, so it folds. It makes the point come out. You don't really have to elbow. It's really your whole body, right? Just kind of getting out the way. Same thing here. You get the whole body out the way. It's the same exact theory. Go here. Like you have a ball here. All right. So,
Okay.
like when they're playing basketball and they have the ball and people are trying to get it and they go.
Okay, so that's what you want me to do? You want me to do the slipping drill and then the elbows?
Yes, yes.
Okay, got it. I got to get the movement back now.
Oh, cool. Just remember that you're already like you're doing 95% of it already.
Right.
By doing, you already got it. Here we're just kind of letting it roll.
Okay.
So you're already doing the move. Don't change much.
Okay.
Use the legs.
Should I start? The round
Oh yeah,
start?
yeah. Sorry, time.
Okay.
Draw him in. Draw him in. Draw him in. Behind him. You're always throwing that same stretch here. When you're doing this, that goes first. Same as I go to punch. Remember to use them to trap them too when they come in. When they're coming in like this to you here, you can always just use without even using just to get behind them, you know? Your elbow will get right behind. When you do that, you're drawing them in just a little, you know? Time. So now we can do kind of the same idea, almost same moves. It's just instead of going here, it's the same move, but this is like the edge of a staff, right? And you put something on the edge of it, a spear at the edge of it. So you're still hitting and aiming with this, right? But this is just in the way. But aim with the elbow, but the fist is in the way, right? So, wow. Same direction and everything. Just like I'm hitting here, I aim just like it's the same thing. But the fist is in the way. It's really weird. There's two main benefits that are both really good benefits. One is if you got that leverage where you can hit him with the elbow, right, but the fist in the way, whether it's this, wherever, you got a real good leverage, right? The other thing, without really trying, it's kind of weird. The other thing is it's even maybe even more valuable or just as valuable is the fact that when you get used to doing this, right, like you just fold from here, you never like do any of that, right? You just go. So same thing. There's never any, and everybody does that. Can't help it, just a little. It's just how good you are at hiding it, but that, so you can just pop, right? So anyways, it's real simple. It's weird. As long as the hands are in position, it works. You just, it's just like instead of doing anything here, you just kind of go. Yeah. And I keep doing the elbows just to remind yourself, how it feels. Like, bam, aim the same way. You know what I mean? And same moves. Try to keep on. I was getting at doing that, but try to keep on putting this in there. So you can roll. It makes it way easier. Way easier. Because this is just like you're walking, right? Which is just, except for you can add a turn whenever you want. Changes it, of course. Same idea. All right, time. So this makes it's weird because we're mixing basics. The basics are simple, but when you mix the basics, that's where all the good stuff is, when you mix the basics up. So yeah, make sure you get your stab nice and easy. It really makes you throw with the hip flexors, This is one of my main strategies at work, was just stepping a little bit off to the side. A little off to the side. Yeah. When you do this by hiding that step back here, that's your jab. You're doing a lot of real sneaky jab. And you're always setting up the right. Time. That make things that make things a little bit easier.
That's good.
If I did. Cool. It's good on that, like especially on a heavy bag or something. Just to really take your time and just do that. Just feel your leverage. And then it's kind of weird, you know? Because like your timing is way different. You have to like grab right away. So it's kind of like you can kind of surprise yourself almost too much. So it's just, but you just do it slow, you get used to the timing, it's real easy. It's really weird though. You know, if you get used to doing that all the time, you end up, I don't know, you just got, you connect sometimes without realizing it's real hard too. You gotta be careful. So that's a good thing to keep going with. Let's I wanted to go more or less in that same direction, but you know what, what I was saying here, and as a southpaw, this really works for you, I would think, is this thing where you're okay, same step, I'm going here. But the reason I'm usually going to the left side is because you know, it makes you're constantly setting this leg up, right? You're getting out of the way of it, and you're kind of setting a jab, but you're also constantly setting this up. By doing this, you're always setting this up. So at any time you can step across, you can do it right away, bam, or you can jab, step across, right? And when you step across, that gives you that, right? That gives you that big right. And it's kind of effortless too. You don't have to do anything here because the turn does it all for you, right? So boom, and then you can just keep on pivoting off this way, right? Kind of, I guess you're going, no, you'd be going this way in an average person. But in the southpaw, it works really good because you already do that anyway. That's already your strategy. But then the nice thing is okay, that's this way, right? Then they cut you off, of course, if there's any good. So you have to come back this way, right? So anyway, my thing was usually catch them with a few of these. When they were smart enough to cut me off finally, and switch direction. Right, when you're going this way, you naturally catch them with hooks, especially during the step we were just doing, right? So anyways, I was gonna say let's do the same steps, but focus on that part just because, especially as the southpaw, it's gonna, well, it doesn't matter, even if you're fighting another southpaw, it works really well. Just that constantly setting the trap here to the right, and then as soon as they switch, like I said, just switch directions, and this direction they're gonna run into a lot of hooks. Okay. So same idea. It's funny though, when I found this step, everything changed because I was using so much more energy before, you know, on stuff I didn't need to use it for. So, but here's about like my 17th fight, I finally realized you can just kind of walk and get a bunch of leverage. Most of the time. You're going here, and anytime you put the brakes, switch directions. Then you're already over here anyway, wound up. So you can just. That's a nice thing when you're going this way. You don't have to do this as much because like you can go. Sometimes without you get thrown, they'll run into it. Same thing this way. You don't necessarily have to do this as much because you're already going that direction. You can go real short. Of course, as a southpaw, you're going to be doing this jab, expecting them to try to trade lefts, rights with you, of course, right? So as you're jabbing, you can always sit back a little left. It's the same move, but you can always sit back a little, like to adjust for that right hand that's going to be going at you, of course. So, right. So you catch them extending, catch them right over the top, or extending. Switch directions. But that's where I would always catch them. It seemed like I don't know if I don't remember looking for that, but it's just that's where I would find it. Is right here, right when you slip, just doing this one, flip the punch. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the timer over. The timer wasn't on. Sorry. So we'll go ahead and start. I started the timer over.
Okay. Let's start over.
Say again.
Okay, got it.
Remember to so throw some elbows in there to remind yourself just put your aim, just how you're aiming. Every time you do, here's another little thing that might help much. Every time you do an elbow here, you do an elbow here. This is just in front of it. It's almost the same time. This is first, which creates out. This goes first, which creates out. Right? So think of the other elbow the whole time. Make sure you get out your way first. It should completely change it. Instead of having to go here, right? Just get out your way. Here, all this arm does is relax. This does all the work. It's just relax. Right. You remember the move where you catch them here, like if you're in close, you catch them here, pull them. That's the idea. Pull them. So you're pulling the person in into a close range.
Got it.
The same idea. Hey, that's the secret to doing big angles. Right? You're here. Right. Catch somebody here. Pull them. Miss. Grab them. You pull them. Miss. It's like you're going for their face, but they go. If they're smart, they get out the way, and you hit like right. There's a little like a shelf right here above the ribs, right here. You go in and catch them this way. It kind of knocks your center of balance back just a little, so that when you go do this down this way, it's like they can't get their balance back. It's kind of a it's a mess up position too, because you end up if you do it right, you can't fall. Well, you can fall, but if you go just enough, you won't fall, but you can't do anything else but kind of hold on to them hitting you with the elbow. Anyway, it's a messed up feeling. But that's kind of the idea. So anyways, you go in here. If they don't move their head back, you hit them in the head, right? But otherwise, you go here, and it's like you go boom down this way, and then you pull that back. You might catch your arm or something. You pull that in, boom. You miss here, you pull that in. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the idea. Same thing we talk about boxing. It's like it's this, right? It throws it. It's this. It throws it. The same idea. But I think with the elbows, it's just like you're able to find. You can find your leverage better for your punches. You can find it. I guess it's closer to your body, but you can really get the kind of the energy of it better that way. And yeah. It's nice for this. These type of moves are big angles, right? You're pulling them in. That type of thing. So let's work that same thing, and the main emphasis is pulling them in. It's like a tornado, right? That part's like the eye of the hurricane. Anything goes around that. So once you pull them in, the next thing goes around it. Right, just how you pull this back. Go back this way, does this. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So let's work that, and then you start putting mostly elbows, but you can put the punches on anytime you want to. Anytime you feel like it. And time. So yeah, just. But check this out. On the one coming back, try to put it like kind of leads. Then this goes. Let this one really. Go ahead, pull them. Pull them.
Would I be pulling? I feel really weird having my hands that low. Would I? They would.
You would only do that if you have their arm. You have their arm inside of it's like elbows right here on their arm. So they're
Yeah.
like they're grabbing you or something, and you're doing that, right?
Okay.
And your hands are more or less here. You can do it from here.
Okay.
Just touch here. My main thing is just the emphasis of this on the hand coming back. First here, then this goes. Here, then this goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all. So instead of here, you go here. Really pull them.
Yeah.
Really get out your way.
I gotta remember they're here because you would never do that in kickboxing.
Right.
You know, like elbows are like, you know,
Right.
like having this that far back is like, you know,
Oh, I hear you.
I have to get that body mechanic.
You shorten. You have to shorten it all up. I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating. I'm exaggerating. But yeah, you can shorten it up. And you would only really do that if you had something.
Yeah,
There's a reason for doing that.
Yeah, right.
So you can still get out your way. It might not be here, but as long as the body gets out the way the same way.
Yeah,
That's really all. This is kind of a crutch or a training wheel to learn that type of stuff. To help. It's really all just about here.
Yeah.
What you do
It's
here.
hard to do that with this because this is new. You know, I haven't do this footwork for a while. It's not my normal footwork. You know, so it's hard
I hear you.
to almost think that once. Maybe I just do the elbows.
Yeah. You could just do this. Just rock back and forth and do the same thing.
Yeah, like regular.
Because really, that's all this. All you're doing here is rocking back and forth anyway. It's just, you're putting this other angle to it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have to be worked on all the time. You can just work on one thing at a time is better. But yeah, they can all be done from here. Or at least from somewhere where they're touching as opposed to out. Just like they fold. See it? Fold. And here, it doesn't necessarily have to be this. It can still be the same energy. Just, right?
That makes sense.
So same idea. It's just if you're really trying to get it first, yeah, it's big. And there's lots of different reasons for doing that. Like you could be grabbing somebody, pulling back. If you don't do that, like for a reason, like say you grab their shirt, all right, you're still pulling them in. You're gonna come in for the elbow. Because you never go after someone with an elbow because they can just punch you before you get there, right? Yeah. But if you punch and then this thing happens, or you just have that close to range. You're like this close, right? Or you're pulling someone in. You're pulling them in. Pulling them in. It can also be an elbow, and I've seen Thai boxers do the same exact move. Where you, it's kind of like the shoulder roll.
Yeah.
But it is a dangerous thing to practice. I don't know how they practice that without getting their head busted, but I only practice it slow, but maybe that's how they do it. But if I'm on this side, I'm going, bam, right? Fold over here, 45 degrees. When it's almost here, you elbow the elbow. And it doesn't necessarily hit them unless you're really, really, well, I don't think I see people, they don't hit each other. It's just a counter to roll with it so that the other ones miss. And then you catch them on the other one. Yeah. Right? But I see Thai boxers do that same move. Real similar in their, I know they learn it different, but but in my mouth, I wouldn't know. But the way they apply that, it's kind of the same, that fold over. So that's kind of, you can use it for that too. Fold over, come back. Fold over, but you hit them with the other side. Same here, fold over. And then like these, it could be an uppercut, but it can be like if you get someone's arm this way, right? So if the arm is this way, you're doing this to them. Come back over the top. So now just do the same, boom. Right, same move. Boom. Same thing, really. Just putting something at the edge of the elbow. That makes sense, though?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so same idea. Whether it's just to get the energy of it, but then yeah, of course, okay, you're gonna,
That makes sense.
you're gonna, just like a lot of these, you learn like this. And it's not that you'll never do this, but it's probably gonna be more.
Yeah.
Right. But you might, it doesn't mean, but you want that whole range. And it's easier to learn, but yeah, you want the whole range, but sometimes it will be, sometimes you do need that big, or these. Right? You learn every little part of the move. It's a big old move, right? But you might not be that, you might not do it like that unless somebody's going, one time you're really going to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be same move here, but it's going to be more, neat. So